became champions, now we're right back at the start. You made me break blue walls of pain while you laid waste to all I gave. I kept the faith your sins so grave, and now I'll never be the same. It's the same old story. Can we regain our glory? Heartbreaker, you traitor, you put me in chains or set me free. I remember all the pain, it's true. I hate you, I love you, I hate you, I love you. Heartbreaker, my savior, I believe in all that we could be. Even if we know it's not forever, we're better together, we're better together. We were together, you stabbed me in the back, then I got better, but now your tears fully stacked. Just like my heart, your arms are now pitch black. How did you think I would react? This back and forth, the ricochet. Off and on, will you please stay? The way so alone. I can't forget all you have to atone. I was so upset, I was so alone. All these regrets, can we take the throne? It's the same old story. I hate you, I love you, I hate you, I love you. Heartbreaker, you traitor. You put me in chains, I set me free. I remember all the pain, it's true. I hate you, I love you, I hate you, I love you. Heartbreaker, my savior. I believe in all that we could be. Even if we know it's not forever, we're better together, we're better together.
Been wearing life like it's a noose around my neck, hunting vultures as they fly. Every spring a flower blossoms in my head, and every winter time it dies. I've become the hunted. I've become the hunted. I've become the hunted.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to tonight's streaming of the League of Legends Challenger Series. I am your host. Hello, it's Justin. I bring you an absolute banger of a game tonight. The multi-time champions ATK will be facing off against Royalty Esports in this time-tested matchup. And with these two teams have faced each other multiple times in the past, with ATK always finding themselves on top, while Royalty are considered to be in their best form to date and look to make the final push to that grand final once again. But now ATK, on the other hand, are looking to defend their title and keep their names on the trophy. ATK are a battle-hardened team who take no prisoners, while Royalty look to play the comeback and make those next level macro plays change the course of the game entirely. They like to play from behind, they like to make the plays, they play so well as a team, and playing from behind kind of truly tests what they're capable of. And I think these two teams competing against one that really gets to show the best that South African esports does have to offer. So now we are going to quickly take a look at the rosters here. So we have got the first roster tonight. We have got ATK. We have got Jetlust up in the top lane. Man is a big Ornn fan. Likes playing those tanks. Likes playing that hard engage. And one thing for sure, you do not want him on any of these hard engage tanks. He can really set up well for his team. And with much difficulty, you will not be able to kill it. From his previous history, his Ornn is pretty high winner, but we'll take a look at more of the OBWGs as time comes by. But then we have got ATK not in the jungle. Likes the Wukong, very rarely gets the Wukong going through. But one of the best junglers that South Africa has to offer here. And I think this is a guy you gotta kind of watch out for. He's always looking around the map, always looking to make plays in his lanes, always looking to get his solo lanes ahead. Speaking of the solo lanes, we have got ATK Slayerai in the mid lane. He is the man on the cover. He is the man with the muscles. That man is going to loves the victor. He's gonna hopefully try and get it this game. You do not want to let this guy on that kind of comfort. He will be able to run you down. He will outscale you. He'll outplay you in every single way possible. But I think in this case, he's got a bit of a much tougher matchup that he has faced one too many times. ATK is a noob. Interesting take, Teddy. Zypher kind of ATK not, I mean... Oh, goodness. We're getting roasted out here. Shame, man. Man's looking good. Man's the face of the Giga Chat. He's the face of South African jungling. What do you mean? Then we have got Klax, the resident ATK 80 carry in the bot lane. One him all day, beat him so bad they has to shave. I mean, that beard makes it, man. That beard makes it. He looks so good with it. Man is like, that is the kind of face which is absolutely annihilating you, the jungle, and he's gonna burn it into your forehead kind of angle. But now we have got ATK Klax in the bot lane. Loves playing the Twitch, loves playing the Tristana, loves all these very aggressive bot laners, but as of recently, likes the Varus. And this is one thing that he has in common with Royalty's AD carries. They both like playing the Varus, both lethality as well as on-hit attack speed. So that can be seen as rather dangerous. Now we have ATK Unique in the bot lane. Does not need much of an introduction. He is currently sitting in Masters now. He is one of the highest ranked support players in the country until he recently moved over to the Netherlands. Is playing with that juicy 11 ping. So you always got to watch out for him, always looking for the roams, always looking to play for his team. Does trust Klax enough to leave him in that solo lane, looks to roam around. And I think in this case, Unique is someone you do not want to get on the bad side of. Now we are going to take a look at the roster they are up against. Hey Void, it's always very good, so it's good so far. Very glad I'm going to be seeing this matchup again. I think this is the second time I'm going to be casting this matchup. And curious to see what these two teams actually have in store. And now, once we get to the patch notes, you'll see what could possibly have changed in the jungle meta. Because jungle meta has changed quite a bit since we last spoke. And I think some people praise it, some people will hate it. But it's always a matter of perspective with that one. Now we got to have RYL Wabajaki in the top lane. Casting like he's getting paid, boy. I mean, I put a lot of effort into it. I like casting. I want to bring a lot of good exposure to South African League of Legends. And I think a lot of these teams deserve it. They perform at such high levels. And we'll talk more about their history in just now here. But both these teams have got a lot of history in the competitive League of Legends scene. So looking to talk more about that as we go. So Arwell Wabajaki did recently play for the team known as ASF Esports, but has now moved, and he is now the resident top laner for Royalty here. This man is a force to be reckoned with on this Mordecai. Where are their pictures, and are they ugly? I don't think they're particularly ugly, fellows. The guy on the cover, so I'll actually go take a look there. So if we look at the stream starting soon screen, so the guy on the right for Royalty, that is Garth, who is we are going to actually talk about now. So now we have got Garth Ruan Muller in the jungle, loves playing the Vi, as you see on the cover. He is very graciously given us a picture of himself for tonight's game. And very, very grateful. We got to hand it to Robot Girl, who did some convincing and helped me out there. So very glad to have Garth on the front page. And I think he is also a great showcase in the jungle. Always looking to challenge ATK not in the jungle. And always plays proactively around his team. But now speaking of playing around his team, we have got Arwell Peanut in the mid lane. He is usually the jungle resident Kayn main. Very, very scary on this Kayn. Do not give him the Kayn if he ever does play in the jungle. But has been picking up the Vex a lot recently. And with... Are they ugly? I keep looking at that and I think it's quite funny. So, Peanut does like playing the Vex mid, and particularly into a lot of these mages that have a lot of dashes, or these mid AD mid laners that have a lot of dashes. And in this case, with Slayer, I like not really playing particularly the dash-based champions, but they do end up shaking, doing the handshake, playing these engaged mages, playing the long-range control mages as well. So it's all a matter of what these two mid laners are left on and what kind of comfort that is given to them in this series. Now, we have got Vanzor in the ATK role, as we have mentioned it before, is an avid Varus enjoyer. Oh gosh. Okay, I gotta hydrate. I'll be right now. Give me 2 secs. Alrighty. Yeah. I just got a lot to say, man. It's like using cocaine to cast. There we go. It's not cocaine, it's Monster. So Vanzor loves the Varus, and we have seen it a lot in his games this season. He's capable of playing the full attack speed Varus, which does scale exceptionally well, as with the right peel can absolutely annihilate anyone and everyone. Well, also can play the lethality Varus. Synergize with the likes of like an Ashe support, get that poke down, and make sure to proactively keep the enemy from doing anything in lane, basically. And I just think his pairing, speaking of his pairing out with Darkseid, Diamond 2, Diamond 1 AD, Diamond 1, Diamond 2 support player, they seem to get along exceptionally well, always dominating this ball lane, always playing proactively and aggressively. And particularly when it comes to a winning matchup. As much as they do love playing the matchups from behind, if this bot lane gets a lead, they become virtually unstoppable. Particularly if they're given any of their comfort picks. But now we are going to just take a little bit of a divergence here and talk a little bit more about the history of these two teams. So Royalty, they've competed in the HP Omen League of Legends Championships in Czech Republic, as well as the World Electronic Championships in Morocco. They've been at it since 2016. They are a recognized MGO and very, very good League of Legends team who have taken first place in the Omen Championship in 2017, first place in the Versus Gaming Championship in 2019, and came second place in Season 3 of the Mettlestate Championships in 2022, which was actually when they lost to ATK. Now, we're talking about ATK, they are just as well recognized. They are internationally and locally recognized esports organization who were established in early 2017. They've got teams across Apex, CSGO, Rainbow Six, League of Legends, and even sim racing. And just very expansive. I do believe they're even taking part in the Kalami 9 hour. So the sim race, best list of sim races for that. But ATK, they are multi-Mettlestate champions. They have won they've won the last 3 seasons of the Mettlestate Challenger Series and look to make it a 4th at this given moment. But even outside from Mettlestate, they also play in competitive Spanish leagues, particularly Spanish leagues that truly test their mettle as a team. They play against people who have much lower ping than they do, people that have much faster reaction times, and still able to perform at exceptionally high levels. And find out, I even have a recognized gaming house down in Cape Town. My family live there. I've been looking to visit it one day. So ATK definitely the team to beat here. So taking a look at their stats here. So we're gonna take a look. Okay, so why is it not showing? Why is it not showing the full matchup? That is not right. All right, there we go. It loaded. So now we do have Jetlust in the top lane. He is Platinum 4 ATLP. Likes the Garen and the Ornn, but the Ornn has got a particularly high KDA, so he does look to play. He's boosted. Teddy out here making some bold accusations, or does he know something that we don't? And then I've got ATK not Platinum 2, likes the Maokai, the Wukong, the Sejuani. But with the recent nerfs that have come out to the jungle, it is going to be particularly hard to play these Demonic Embrace junglers. They have capped the Demonic Embrace burn onto jungle creeps to just 40 damage flat, but it only to monsters and whatnot, not to champions. So not a rushable item anymore. And maybe we'll look to play more of these AD junglers as they got hit with some nice buffs. Jarvan, Lee Sin getting hit with nice buffs. Viego getting a really good buff as well this patch. So could be seeing some of these interesting champions coming out with this new meta. Got Slayer Eye in the mid lane, a gold 1-0 LP. Likes the Akshan as well as the Fizz, but one thing he is known for is his Victor. Victor is a champion you should never give this man, regardless how his lane goes. He always finds a way back in, always finds a way to make the plays. And particularly if his team even plays around him, if it's even worse for the enemy team. Because then he can just run away with the game, kite it out. Very, very exceptional on this Victor. Something you don't want to give him. Klax in the bot lane, likes the Varus, likes Tristana, as well as the Xayah. These champions being quite strong due to the crit changes to Infinity Edge and Noboria a couple patches ago. So curious to see what he's going to bring out here in terms of whether he's going to bring out the safe picks with the Xayah or the super aggressive picks with the Tristana. That's something I'm going to have to wait and see. Now, ATK unique. This man does not need much of an introduction. He is the resident master tier 34 LP support. Loves playing the Rakan and has got 4.09 KDA. Almost 16% win rate in 26 games. Quite strong on this pick, and Rakan is not looking to get any lower in terms of win rate. The champion got hit with really nice buffs. A lot of his counter matchups also got hit with a nerf hammer over the last couple of patches. So it makes him very, very viable. And pairing that with Klax's Xayah can make them a very deadly and dynamic duo in the bot lane. Then we have Royalty here. We got Royalty Vanzor in the bot lane. Likes his Lucian, Tristana, as well as the Misfortune. But also Varus, one of his personal picks here. I don't know if he really loves playing it, but he is exceptionally good at it. Whether it is going to be the full lethality Varus or it is the full attack speed Varus, it is something that his team trusts him on, and I think a lot of the time is able to win the game for his teammates at this point. Now we have got Peanut, who is going to be playing the mid lane. He is a jungle main at heart, but capable of playing around his team very well. Alright, so it does look like we are just getting ready to hop into games. So I'm going to try and speed things up a little bit more. So now, so Peanut does like playing the Vex in the mid lane, like playing that hard engage or that hard safety for his team. But now Garth, this one Garth, Ruin Muller, the guy on the cover, likes the vibe, likes the Karthus. One thing you don't want to do is give him Karthus. He can carry out these games, scale it up, one-shot everyone, be everywhere and anywhere at the same time. And then we have Wabajaki in the top lane, like the Mordekaiser as well as the Kasante. But recently been picking up the Jax, so he does like a variety of top lane as well. It's the hard carry top lane as well as the tank top lane, as he can play anything and everything. But Darkseid, similar to that of ATK Unique here, likes the Rakan, but then also at heart loves the Nami. A lot of games on the Nami this season so far, and seems like Enchanters and hard engaged supports are his personal favorites. I know that covers pretty much all the supports, but it doesn't seem like he has got a jack of all trades kind of angle. So hopefully we get to see some good League of Legends coming out from him. But then we see now, just taking a look at the standings for the play-offs and grand finals. 5 Lonely Men were able to take down XPG LTS and did progress into lower bracket round 2. And now, with ATK taking the win into Lost Time, are currently in the winners bracket finals with Royalty, who were able to take down Genesis as well. So now both Era teams did drop into the lower bracket. Era Genesis are facing off against 5 Lonely Men tonight. Unsure if it's best of 1 or best of 3, but I will keep you updated as the stream goes. Last Time will face the winner of that team, of that matchup, and that will also be decided. And then the loser of tonight's game will go into the lower bracket finals and face the winner of Last Time, and whoever wins in the lower bracket round 2. So a lot of stuff going on, a lot of resting on this game, but this could potentially not be the last time that we see the ATK Royalty Esports matchup. And I know I just made the not joke, and I try to restrict myself from making the not joke for not's sake, because it's a joke I can imagine he hears all the time. So we're going to try and refrain from that just a little bit, okay? But we are going to take a look at patch 13.4. Not funny, dude. Yeah, I was expecting it. Surely I was very much expecting it. But let's even look at the buffs and the nerfs. Amuma getting hit with the nerf hammer very much needed the nerfs, as well as the Maokai and the Udyr. These champions, very big abusers of the Demonic Embrace, even very big abusers of the Jack Show. But these nerfs looking to bring them down a tier at all levels of gameplay, because they are just too proactive and doing just too much for their teams for such little itemization. So this kind of does open it up for more AD or even non-Demonic Embrace tank junglers like Jarvan, who's been particularly strong, even getting hit with a small nerf this patch after getting a massive buff to his W last patch. Samira getting hit with a nerf, as you're getting hit with a buff slash nerf, as kind of evens out his trade, so it doesn't look like he's going to be affected too much. But the main buffs we look at is for the Viego, for the Riven, as well as the Cho'Gath. These champions who have been kind of out of the game for quite some time now and are very niche picks, but now Viego's passive is given crit. Riven's bonus damage if she gains off her passive now will be able to do damage to the towers. So or 2. Right, so I'm curious to see what we're going to see picked from these two teams, with the Demonic Embrace junglers being not as strong, as both the junglers did like abusing it. Vi also being a particularly strong champion, so it could be picked up there. But now we are going to be heading into Champ Select. This is going to be game 1 between ATK and Royalty. And right now, what are we going to see? As you see, that is going to be the Vi taken away from Garth. Garth is not going to get given this champion. This champion has just too much engage and works really well with the Black Cleaver buffs. And now that is Maokai taken away from Not in the jungle. He does not look like he is going to be playing this tonight. And yes, I made the Not joke. I'm going to be making them unintentionally and intentionally, so it's more of a matter of what's to come. Alright, so I will get the predictions up and going once we have seen more of their team comps. So you can put points there, but taking the Sylas away, as I believe that is a Sylas from the jungle and from the mid lane. A very flexible champion now. Sylas jungle clear, not the greatest, but does snowball really, really hard if you get that early lead. Zac taken away from Not, heavy engaged champion, user of the Radiant Virtue. So these champions not going to be let through, not going to be given the playmakers to Not here. And curious to see what is going to come out here, as that is going to be the Ornn taken away. Jetlust will not risk it being taken away from him, so we'll take it away from everyone else entirely. So his mentality, if he doesn't get to play it, no one gets to play it. But gotta love that kind of ego mentality. As the final ban comes out for Royalty, what is it going to be? Are they going to be targeting Not again? Or are they going to be rather focusing in the other lanes? But that is going to be the Rakan actually taken away from Unique here. Unique has been spamming it quite a bit, and rather than risking taking it, will actually just end up banning it. And now Varus will be picked up for Klax here. Kind of picking up for Klax, who's quite good on this Varus, but also denying it from Vanzor, who is just as proficient. It's a very smart move coming out from ATK here. Now, Karthus is hovered, and that will be a Karthus pickup coming out for Garth in the jungle. He is a very, very good Karthus from what I've understood. He has absolutely dominates the early game, despite Karthus' slightly weaker early game. But then Ashe is now being hovered. This is a flexible pick, but right now it is much more common in the support role than it is in the AD carry role. So does see is going to be hovered, but it will not be the Ashe. It is going to be the Xayah lock-in for Vanzor. Playing a very safe AD carry here, being able to dodge a lot of these crucial ultimates. Speaking of crucial ultimates, there is a Sejuani pickup for Not in the jungle. Sejuani being one of his most popular champions, and particularly a champion he is very good on. Very good at setting up for his team, and very easily can put his side lanes ahead, and even his bot lane too. But now, that is going to be the Orianna lock-in for Slayer in the mid lane, playing the team fight engage, as well as the poke. Now, with Orianna, she did receive a couple of buffs recently, so now her Q does, the damage reduction passing through targets has been very much reduced. So now instead of it going per minion is now 70% flat damage reduction, so poking through more minions is much more recommended. And also, a lot of big AP ratio buffs to her R. So, her R can decide a lot of these big team fights. Now, that is going to be the Gnar lock-in for Wabajaki. It is one of his personal favorites. The range / melee top laner who can use and abuse any top laner that does not know how to manage his waves. But I do think that Jetlust likely has an answer for it as we now enter the second ban phase. Now that is going to be the Ashe actually banned away from Unique. They do not want to risk it getting through. They do not want to risk that very oppressive bot lane with the Varus. So we'll just play it safe. But Unique, I do believe, has quite a few pocket picks up his sleeve. And wouldn't be surprised if he brings something new to the table entirely. As the final ban coming out, the second ban coming out for ATK is going to be the Syndra. So Syndra being one of the stronger mid lanes that Peanut does favor, but the Vex is still being left open, does enjoy the Vex as well. So with now we are entering the last two bans between these two teams. Alright. What is it going to be? They are sitting on 0 for quite some time, and that is going to be the Gnawless taken away from Unique here. Don't want to let him play that hard engage. Already with the Gnaw, they are going to have quite the big hard engage already. So, likely not going to be seeing him on anything hard engage. Going to look maybe to see if he's going to go a Poke Mage, or he's going to go an Enchanter to try and boost up Jetlust here. Now, that is going to be the Swain ban, so that's taken away from the mid lane, as well as the support role. Quite a flexible pick here, but unsure if it's going to go through. But that is now a Jace hover. That would likely end up being the Jace mid, as Jace mid will be locked in for Peanut here. And I think this is going to be one of the first times we are going to be seeing Peanut on this Jace here. So, but at the moment, Karthus is the only form of AP. They are very heavy AD, so Sejuani is going to be able to prioritize armor over magic resist in this instance. Is that it's going to be a Scion pick up for Jetlust in the top lane. Hard scaling tank infinite scaling tank, if you will, and that gives a very suitable front line to Orianna and to Varus, with the Sejuani pairing up with that. And then Senna actually being picked up by Unique. Senna recently got hit with some really nice buffs to her attack speed as well as her ultimate. So that does mean that is a duo ADC. That is big AoE healing. But Clax Varus? I mean, when is a Varus not picked at any of these games, kiddo? I swear I see Varus at every single one of these games when these guys play. As that is now going to be the Karma lock-in. So that will be the Karma going into the support role for Darkseid. That is going to be Xayah for Vanzor. That is going to be Jace for Peanut. That is Karthus for Garth. And that is Na for Wabajaki. And then let's get the predictions up and going. You guys are going to have 5 minutes, so be sure to use your points very wisely. On who do you think is going to take game 1? Is ATK going to play the scaling game? Are they going to be allowed to play this late into the game? Get that Senna some stacks, or they're going to fall short and Karthus going to be wiping that team with his massive AoE ultimate and the first strike? Because it is likely going to be a first strike angle, at least that I would run on him. It's the only champ Vanzor ever plays, so they had to yeet it. I mean, it's kind of expected that they didn't want to let it through because the Varus is just very, very strong right now, particularly in the hands of Vanzor, who is very capable on it as well. So, now, while we wait for the champ select to go through, we are going to take a look once again at some of the stats, at some of these hard nerfs. So, some of the champions that were picked up here. Alright, so... Okay, there we go. It's this side. So some of the champions that were picked up. So we do see there's going to be a Senna picked up in this game, as well as an Orianna. Hi, watching from Nigeria. Love the work. Oh, thank you so much, King Josh. Thank you so much. I'll try and put the best possible foot forward. I just want to make sure to cover all the base so you get the best information about what's going to be coming in this game. So champion buffs. The champions that we're going to look at are particularly the ones in this game. So let's just get all the way down to our lovely lady in the bot lane, or the mid lane in this case. So that is going to be Orianna. So she is, despite getting the buffs the last patch, needed to get buffed again. So now her base armor has been since increased, but now with it being an 80 matchup, it is slightly more favorable for Orianna. She's going to have a little bit more resistances and not going to have to worry about dealing with Jace too much. The command dissonance, her W, the mana cost has been reduced by 10 at all ranks. So nice, I hope you're seeing you playing in the SA leagues. Yeah, we would love to see you guys play in SA leagues. We have got a bunch of teams playing down here in South Africa. They're not even just from South Africa. We had a team from Reunion playing here. We had a team from Madagascar playing here as well. A team from Uganda, which have been playing in this league. So we'll be more than happy to welcome you into the Mettlestate leagues. But now let's get to the buffs, which I think are very interesting. So the Senna buffs definitely don't look like much on paper. So Senna's attack ratio, attack speed per 100% bonus attack speed has now increased by 10, which doesn't seem like a lot, but Senna doesn't particularly scale well with attack speed. Just in the sense that she has to almost wind up her autos before she can get it going, get it running. So this extra attack speed allows her to go for more attack speed based builds, particularly like the Kraken Slayer, which now her Q does proc it, so she can auto to get that instant Kraken Slayer proc. And then Nigeria is quite the common. We got a lot of people here talking about Nigeria. But welcome, Populous Panda. Welcome to the chat. Hope you're enjoying your stay. So with the Dawning Shadow getting a bit of a buff here, so now the physical damage scaling has been increased by 15%. And then the ulti past level 2 to level 3 has been increased in damage by 25 at rank 2. And by rank 3 it's increased by a whole 50 damage. So kind of want to make sure that Senna can use this as an aggressive tool rather than a defensive one. Giving it a bit more damage. And giving it a bit more sustain. And the cooldown also gets reduced by 20 seconds at all ranks. So curious to see how this is going to play out. As now we are getting ready to load into the game here. We are going to see if we can get to see skins, because we never get to see many of the skins. So All right, so let's go into there. All right, want to make quick prediction. All right, so now we are going to just take the overlay away for a couple of seconds while you just take a look at this draft, as we actually don't even get to do that. We don't even get to do that as we are already in game. I just don't know why my client is being up. That is going to be a pause. So, Not's mouse apparently died. That is definitely not a good thing. All right. All right, let's make sure we get everything sorted out. So that is chat available, that is objective times available, and then get rid of the time controls. Control Shift Z, and there we go. Got the zoom up and running, but was not expecting that, honestly. To anyone who's new here, Not does get the brunt of the jokes in this chat, particularly because it's just so easy to make the jokes, and Unique as well gets a lot of jokes hit to him too. So the love is spread equally. As Not has disconnected again. Hopefully he's able to get his mouse up and running soon. Arthur's just a champion I can't see myself playing. And I know, like, Arthur's jungle is a very particular jungler, in my opinion. Like, it's not something you can play aggressively and defensively, but in most cases you just want to scale, you just want to farm. You just farming up the camp, see someone low, or your team wants to go in for a dive or an engage, you pop the ulti, gives them a little bit more room to play with, and gives them, also makes the enemy team go into a bit of a panic, because they see this big ulti coming out, and that means that's kind of like the preemptive warning. Oh no, we're going to dive you now, or oh, we're going to jump on you now, or if you think you're going to get out on that like 10 or 20 HP, Carthus ulti comes out of nowhere and takes you down. So I think it's just, yeah, like for me, I can agree with you. Not particularly a huge fan of Garth's jungle. I don't play it too much myself, but Garth is someone who has been absolutely crazy on this Garthus. In his previous games, he picks up like most CS of the game, highest kill participation, most damage. Man is dangerous on this Garthus, and I think giving it to him is something you don't always want to do. But I think ATK have got a bit of an answer for this. They do have a lot of frontline, and they have a lot of sustain, as well as, well, the sustain coming out from the Senna, as well as the shielding coming out from Slayer. Not and Jealous being a very suitable frontline for these three carries here. Yeah, full build Karthus all can be incredibly painful. But the 1 or 2 times that I end up playing Karthus, I end up going first strike Karthus, and then basically all you do is you just pop your ulti, and you just get free gold just for existing. Basically, it's a lot of fun, but I don't play it too often. Like, I don't know where else particularly Karthus belongs. Like, I think he can be played mid. He was a bot laner for a very brief time, but jungle's just best place for him because he can just sit AFK farm and scale up relatively well. Yeah, to support my boy ATK, not Mr. Not's mouse died. Does he have a spare mouse he can use? Mr. Not's mouse died. He is sorting it out here. Support my boy ATK Not. His mouse is not working. Okay, I need to stop. I need to stop with these jokes. It's just too much for me. But while we wait, let's go and take a quick look at the rest of the patch notes. So we will be right there, as we're just going to take a look at the patch notes, and then we'll be sure to hop back once the game has started. Now, a buff which, oh gosh, a lot of disconnect noises. So Darkside has disconnected, reconnected. We'll be back. But Thresh getting very nice changes here. With ATK equipment giving in there. Ooh, but you can't doubt the ATK equipment. I mean, they go through a lot just to get through to what these players play like. Like, I can't imagine how many clicks that mouse receives in just one game alone. So Thresh got a bit of a change. It's a very complex change, I would imagine, as Qmax is generally what Threshers go for. They like the Qmax because they can reduce the cooldown, they can look to play aggressively. But also the W, Dark Passage, is another playstyle where Threshers who want to play defensively, max that just to keep their AD carry from dying or keep a teammate from dying here. As now, the cooldown has been increased, but the shield strength is stronger. I think she meant his pet mouse. Oh, well, could be talking about his pet mouse, but if that's the case, then I do severely apologize. But I think he's just finding some equipment here and there. I mean, I have my mouse that has been through thick and thin. My little Corsair harpoon has been through a painfully large amount of clicks. Could you say a prayer for the mouse? Oh, great map people in the heavens, oh mouse gods, can you grant ATK not a working mouse? It has worked very hard to get him here. Carry him his last few miles in this game, and you will be ever so rewarded. Amen. It could work. What if it works? It works. Well, we don't know. As the more disconnects are coming out. Sorry, should be like think he is looking for one. So they are just gonna try and get the mouse sorted. But now we're gonna take more looks at the nerfs here. So actually a mid laner, which I think a lot of people are gonna be sleeping on in this patch, is actually the Veigar. So they have increased his Q range, so now it kind of matches his like auto attack range, so making it easier for him to play defensively in a way, like buffing the range of his Q as well as his W, so he can play from very far away, which is the Veigar play style. You don't want to be into people's faces, you want to be playing from behind, your baby cage, and doing as much damage as you can without taking the damage. Now, this buff also, a lot of people are very interested on how this could go. So now the Viego's Q passive does crit. So that max health, the health damage that he does after he Qs does critically strike. But I think that Viego does need the tanky stats if he wants to be a fighter. He's not necessarily an assassin. But now his R also, now it's been buffed, so he gets 5%, instead of a 3% per 100 bonus AD, it is 5% per 100 bonus AD. So benefits a lot from building that full AD. They definitely want to maybe push him to the assassin side rather than the fighter side. Now, this is the change which I think a lot of people were very excited for, is the demonic embrace changes, where Azukanda's gaze is now capped. It only goes to 40. It doesn't go above 40, so junglers cannot rush it. Don't particularly want to rush this anymore. I know a lot of people will just go straight to the Leandries, but at this point, demonic is an item you don't really want to rush as a jungler. Now, support items getting a bunch of changes here. This particularly the charge time duration for the Harrowing Crescent, as well as the charge for Spectral Sickle, does benefit the Senna. So Senna, all in all, getting hit with some really nice buffs, and I think support Senna is going to be one of the stronger picks in this current meta. But what else? We missed some up here, but not going to cover too much of the Udio ones. But Samira getting hit with a small movement speed buff, small movement speed nerf. So now, instead of it being 3.5 per stack, it is now scaling 1 to 4. So early game is not as bad. You can get shout out to Kiddo for leading Nairobi All-Stars to the greatest victories of 2019. This is information that I was not very aware of, but that sounds like it was pretty cool. I know Kiddo has been around in the scene for quite a long time. I only started playing League of Legends when I was in around 2016, 2017. But I have learned a lot from what the community has to offer, and Kiddo is the name that kept coming up as one of the first players to reach Challenger in South Africa, and still a lot of respect for him. Actually, had the courtesy of watching him play one of his games. But I believe he is playing again tonight against Genesis, so we'll keep you updated on that match for now. Riven getting hit with some knife buffs. Now she does 50% of her bonus damage on her passive 2 towers, so kind of giving that split push potential to her quite nicely. Her AD scaling is now, instead of it being per 5 levels, per 3 levels, it is now linear. So at every level, she gains bonus AD on her passive, which is quite nice for her. Would not be surprised if we see some Riven top lanes and Riven mid lanes here. Now, Maokai, also this champion, getting hit with the big nerf hammer. A lot of nerfs coming out. This guts pretty much top lane, jungle, and support Maokai. As now the AP ratios have been lowered and the magic damage of the target max health has also been lowered in the sense. So especially in the early game compared to the mid game and late game, the cooldown on sapling toss has been increased quite a bit. The magic damage bonus has also been reduced on the E scaling, as well as now the empowered sapling slow has also been nerfed. And wait, it's not. Oh yeah, it has been nerfed quite hard. Instead of it being plus 4% per 100 AP, it is now plus 1. So unless you're building full AP Maokai, it is not going to do as much damage. Malphite getting here with a couple of thunderclap buffs. So now the cooldown has been decreased. Armor scaling on the W has been also increased. So very good into those full AD team comps. Jax has got some interesting changes in the sense that I think AP Jax is a lot more viable. Now, dodging attacks increase the entire damage on the spell, not just the base damage. So if he takes a lot of damage, he's building full AP Jax, he's going to one-shot your entire team because he's doing AP damage plus 4% of the target's max health. So it's a lot of damage. And the max damage is just absolutely absurd with 140% AP scaling rather than just 100%. As now, we do have the reconnect, so we should be heading back into game now. As the pause should be coming off soon. Has a mouse been found, or does he think he can find a mouse? So Notch is back. And hopefully we should be getting into game soon. Just got to give it a couple of minutes, as I think he's just trying to set up his DPI, set up his mouse. But these teams have a lot of history, have played a lot against one another, and permitting what we go through as South Africans in this country with load shedding and all that hullabaloo, just giving that extra time to these players just to make sure everything's alright is what is the sacrifices that we make for this scene. So very much a lenient scene in terms of playing around power outages as well as power availability. At least we could talk about the game. Imagine being at LCS. Yeah, I wish I could just hype to these lads, but just gotta sit here and just watch the banter, if you will. So a lot of free banter between these two players, well, two teams more or less. Pause is still gonna be happening, but then we will just hop back to the stats. I just want to cover one last thing. Oh wait, never mind. We are actually going to be back into game. This is now game 1 between ATK Esports against Royalty Esports. ATK on the blue side and Royalty on the red side. We got some nice skins coming out. We do have the astronaut Gnaw, but now we get the localized pause after being paused for so long. Gotta love playing on a Riot Games servers, huh? 200 years. 200 years, by the way.
Welcome to Summer.
Yes, now we are in game. So Senna sitting on the very breezy, very comfortable 9 ping over in the Netherlands. Oriana sitting on that 159 ping, very comfortable there. But now Slayer gets a little extra trade onto the Jarvan, as that is not actually going to be Peanut mid, as I was sorely mistaken, as that is actually going to be El Spooks in the mid lane, playing this Jace. And have not seen much of him on the Jace either. So very curious to see what he is going to bring to the table with this Jace here. As now Jetlust, it does not have a skin unfortunately on the Scion. But particularly in that of some of the nicer skins here, we see got Poro Rider not here. Love that skin. Sejuani on Giant Poro, who doesn't love it? It's so hard not to love. And then we have Slayerite with the Hearts Breaker, or it's Heart Seeker Oriana. As Valentine's Day has just passed, and it's rather spend money on League skins than spend money on dates, from what I collect. I know that's something I would do at least. So Unique and Clack's gonna go for these aggressive trades, and now just looking at the runes that were picked up from ATK here, that is going to be a Comet Varus, so that is going to be Poke Varus rather than on-hit attack speed Varus. And that will synergize very well with Senna, who's probably going to end up going the Kraken Slayer here. So we'll have extra ADC, but Really quick trades coming out from El Spooks. Jetless going with the W first just to go get some extra poke onto Wabajaki. But now, Senna, they really are pushing for this level 2 here. They are going to try and get this wave pushed as quickly as possible. And it does look like they will get it. Really are going to push forward as the Q does land. They'll be land onto Vanzor. Vanzor and Darkside forced under their tower. Taking a lot of poke from Varus and Senna here as Slayer gets engaged again by El Spooks. Does not have the phase rush, so that will be a fairly even trade between them. Senna lands the W once again. Gets the Q onto the Xayah. Xayah is not having a fun time. Xayah is definitely regretting some life decisions here. As now, just take a look quickly at the junglers. So Karthus is just going to be pathing to that top side, looking just to do a full clear. Sejuani making her way down to the red side. Is a little bit behind on the Karthus clear, but not going to be looking to be a AFK farming jungler, rather going to be a proactive jungler, as Vanzor is getting heavily poked out by the Senna as well as this Varus, but big damage coming out from Darkside, kind of counteracting that Senna poke. Karthus is looking for an invade on Sejuani, but there is no jungle for Karthus to take. Sejuani is in the bot side while Karthus is just looking for anything to steal, as there is nothing available. But Karthus is going to actually be making a gank into the mid lane behind Slayer here. Slayer does have the flash available. Will get the poke off. Does have Airy rather than phase rush, so will not be able to just phase rush out. As that is really, really good poke coming out from this Karthus. And now it's going to force that Orianna to get an early back. Does have the teleport. Will get to lane relatively carefree. No summoners were burned. But so far, very close in terms of all these trades. Jetlust taking a lot of damage from Wabajaki here. As now, Not was looking to try and path a dive for bot, but this Varus at the center are just poking out relatively easily, as there is Sejuani is going to go with a reset. We'll get to the bot. We'll be looking to just do a full clear once again. Senna does let W onto Vanzor. Vanzor had to go for the early reset, but that Senna is very much relaxing at this point. Is now Wabajaki going for more trades on Jetlust, but Jetlust will be outscared in terms of damage. W does land onto Darkside. Darkside having to burn the flash. And in this case, I think scaling is on the side of ATK. As a Q from Darkside does go wide, does not connect. Thank you so much for the follow, the Zeptic. Welcome to the stream. I hope you enjoy your stay. This is still game 1 of ATK versus Royalty Esports. ATK on the blue side and Royalty on the red side. Slayer, I'm going to be playing that proactive poke game against this Jace. Really starting to feel those little armor buffs that came to the Orianna this patch. And now, again, we see the Karthus is just going to look to keep farming. He's not really going to be doing much else other than just full clearing his jungle. Sejuani does get spotted on a ward here. So if we see Not is spotted, just clearing his Raptors, where they particularly don't actually know where the Karthus is. They only really see 2 people there, but now they are going to look to push the way bot, as Karma does get spotted by Not here. We will just walk away. Now, particularly in the case of ATK Not, he doesn't benefit too much from the full AFK farming strategy. But we'll be looking to play around his team a lot more, as Wabajaki does have the Mega Gnaw, does look for the fight here with Jetlust. Jetlust just popping the potion, and that will be a small Gnaw once again. Play up, as Orianna does drop the Command Dissonance plus the Shockwave. Does a lot of damage to Spooks, but Spooks will have to use the Phase Gate to walk away. W does land onto the Karma. I think this synergy poke is really, really good between these two. As now, Unique, they do spot a ward here. And we'll be looking to walk up, as Wabajaki just happily poking away at Jetlust. But Wabajaki has not been able to get the reset off just yet. As now ATK are looking to start up this first dragon, have a small gold, 1,000 gold lead, but that is likely from the center poke. But now Unique is going to be roaming up, does hit Spooks with the W, a lot of damage coming out from him there. Varus does go with the Q, but that is going to be a flash coming out from Spooks, as Gnaw is going to put an engage onto Jetlust. Varus does get hit by the Monster W, but Sejuani does hop over, does get the permafrost stacks, does land the permafrost, and that is first blood going over to Klax. There, Zaya is caught between a rock and a hard place, as Nod is now also running away from the Jace, who will pick up the return kill. But now that is going to be the Karthus ulti coming out. Flash from Klax picking up that kill. Flash from Karthus now. Slayer having to flash away from Garth, trying to dodge the damage. Senna getting the kill onto Banzor now. That is a very, very messy fight, but that is going in favor of ATK, as Wabajaki is desperately trying to survive here, fighting against the Scion. But Jetlust will get the solo bolo. Will make it 4 for 2. And that is a very, very good start. As Senna get flashed on Ruin. And now Senna goes 2-0-2. Varus 2 for 1 for 1. 5 kills to 2. ATK playing very proactively and able to get these easy trades. And now Senna does look very comfortable right now. We can just take a look at the gold. Seeing 2,800 to Karma's only measly 1,600. So in a very good spot there. Jetlust just burning the ghost. Does have some unsealed spell book, so can just play through the summoners to get back to lane. Yeah, so the Senna is quite good as a player. This is unique. He has, in the past, he has reached Masters on South African ping, which is 100, which he's got to Masters on 180, which is, would say is quite a remarkable feat, particularly when you're playing against people who have like 10, 15 ping. Looks like ban Senna versus ATK or lose. I mean, Senna just looking really strong right now. These buffs are going to be wild, and he isn't even going the attack speed buffs. But now with with ATK's support, he also did move over to the Netherlands. As you saw, he's now playing on the 19 ping. So if you can get to Masters on 180 ping, imagine what he can do with 19 ping. So Klax and Unique are going to be able to poke down this tower. Going to get a bunch of plates, putting them at a 2,000 gold lead. And there's not really much that can be done. Senna just gets that poke down. We'll take a tower shot. But we'll be able to heal up. As the Glacial Prison does come out, Permafrost plus the shock wave from Orianna. And that is going to be Slayer taking down Al Spooks. That is going to be another kill going over. That's going to be his first kill going over to him after only picking up 2 assists. And that's now 6 kills in favor of ATK. Jetlust doesn't seem particularly phased by this Nod at this point in the game. He just wants to farm, just wants to hit the Flaminions. Nod is now bot side. Does not have the permafrost available, so no dive will come out. But Senna does have the Dawning Shadow. Varus does have the ultimate there. I can't exactly remember the Varus ultimate, so I'm going to do a quick little cheat there. Going to take a quick look. It is called the Chain of Corruption. Alright. So I feel like this combo does synergize very well in terms of their poke, just in general, with the piercing arrow as well as the Q from Senna. But then Dawning Shadow plus Chain of Corruption, that is, the person that gets hit by both of those is very much dead. Stand at all her W. I've seen her miss. I think I've seen her miss once. So I do agree on you that she just doesn't miss. But and once the W lands, that just gives free reign to Varus to land the E at the same time. So now pick up another plate, and I'm looking to even pick up that bot lane tower. Darkseid is going to be roaming rather than going back bot lane. Senna dropping some deep vision in the enemy jungle. Puts a ward very deep into the lane even. But now we see Slayer does get engaged by Spooks. Notch is there. Does have the Glacial Prison land onto Senna. Senna does drop a Drawing Shadow and takes down Jace on a killing spree. Garth and Wabajaki do pick up the Rift Herald though, but at the cost of their bot lane tower, as Senna is just going absolutely ham. Feather Storm coming out from Zaya to try and dodge as much damage as possible. But Klax does land the empowered Q, and that is another kill for this dynamic duo in the bot lane. It is 8-2. It is currently a 6,000 gold lead in favor of ATK. And Karma just going to try and hold this lane while Slayer just picks up more free gold on these tower plates. ATK playing their macro very, very well here, as now the Umbral Glaive picked up from Senna and then the Eclipse picked up for Varus. Those are 2 very good lethality items against 2 champions that have no armor. Pressed R too early. Possibly. They maybe would have changed the outcome too much, but I do have to agree with you there. Now, Jetlust has reached the point where he's just doesn't care. Like he never cared to begin with, but now he can just sit in the top lane. Nara's not going to do too much damage. But Garth is desperately just trying to farm something else. But Not and Unique are looking for a setup here. Not does walk into the mid lane. does disguise, not in the Dawning Shadow ultimate. And that will be another kill going over to Klax. Spooks falls. That is now 1-4 for him. That is a 4-1 Varus and 3-0-4 Senna here. Very, very scary to deal with. A Senna and not do go for Darkside. W does land. That is a dead Darkside. Does not have the flash available. And we'll hand that over to Klax. And now that is his 5th kill. Red mid is tilted. I mean, Spooks does seem to be having a bit of a rough time. Like, is not able to do too much to this Orianna. Especially with the extra arm that she gains from her E. And then the armor buffs she receives. Just making it a little bit harder for these AD mid laners to deal with her. So, Karthus does also just want to look to farm. That is possibly a win condition for Royalty here. But ATK look to be taking no prisoners. They do not look like they're going to slow down. They look like they heavily want to keep this pressure up as they do pick up the Ocean Dragon here relatively freely. But now Not is making his way mid. Does not have the Glacial Prism up. But W does land from Unique here. Is tempted to go for that final auto, but will not go for it. As now Not is going to be spotted in the red jungle. So we see a Riptail coming out from Ruin in the top lane. But Slayer Eye is going to be poking out Spooks. Big damage coming out there. So they are going to try to drop the Riptail. Just want to get a little bit of gold in their back pockets. And we'll pick up about 2.5 plates. It's Fed, Varus, and Senna. I'm trying to see how they come back from this. I think they just got to play for the Karthus. But at this point, ATK have played this team comp exceptionally well. Poking from very far away. Not really giving much breathing room to Royalty here. As Slayer is just absolutely annihilating that, but then Karthus is going to be invading, is going to be picking up some farm in the jungle. Has picked up a little bit of the CS lead over Sejuani. But we have not seen any good Requiems coming out just yet. Spooks, let's go up the hard engage onto Spooks, but will dodge the Glacial Prism as the Phase Rush and the Phase Gate are getting him out. Feather Storm coming out from Vanzor here, but Jetlust is just going to walk right behind him, is going to dodge it. Does go for the Gale Force pull back, but that will not be enough as now that is not jumping onto Spooks, taking him down. Klax getting 3 plates there. Karthus is now stuck in between a rock and a hard place. Does actually escape. Does make it out on the control ward. So that no one's going to catch Garth there. But it's a 7k gold lead. Only last time could throw this. Arrow is like roasting his own team here. Very casually. But now we see Unique and Jealous are going to be going on to Wabajaki. Wabajaki does burn the flash plus the ulti. Q knockup does not land. The root is sidestep Wabajaki, but that now is going to be a TB coming in from Spooks. Unique and is just trying to take that Wabajaki. We'll try and stall for time. Requiem is coming out, but that's going to be a flash barrier plus Dawning Shadow from Senna, cutting this out exceptionally well. And that is likely going to be a very... Oh, never mind. Spooks makes it out alive. Senna taking a lot of damage. Drops the Q. Spooks picking up that 700 gold shutdown onto the Senna. But then Jetlust does return the favor, does take down the Jace. Mantra W coming out from Karma. And that is now a dead top laner too. So Garth definitely coming in clutch, trying to do his best, do the most for Royalty. As Chain of Corruption does land onto the Karthus. Empowered WQ does not connect to the Karthus. He's exceptionally low. But Slayer Eye does do the shockwave. Is not able to get the kill. Will do the Q under the tower. We'll just drop the E back. And that will be a solo kill for him in the bot lane. As Wabajaki does look for the chase. Will not land it. It was a beautiful play from Nah. I mean, Nah did his darn best to try and just play for his team. Just try to stall it out as long as possible. Giving the Karthus a bit more gold. And I think they know full well the Karthus is the win con. Actually, when I see Karthus does not get the kills, it went to the Jace, actually. So Karthus did not pick up any kills. It actually went over to Spooks, who's now got 2 kills.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
And if we just take a look at the current gold graph, so Jace is sitting 1,400 gold behind the Orianna. Sejuani is about 400, 500 gold behind the Karthus. Sion, very even gold with the Nah. There's not much difference there. About 400 gold, maybe just like a bit of armor. But the real gold difference has to be sitting in the bottom side of the lane. It's like from mid downwards. Is Orianna sitting 1,300 gold ahead of the Jace. The Varus sitting a comfortable 4,000 gold ahead of Vanzor. And the Senna sitting 4,000 gold ahead of the Karma. As the shockwave does land, the root does land from Unique, and that is another kill for him. That is 6-1 on the Senna now. So it is looking relatively free for ATK, as they are going to begin this Rift Herald. Not going to be giving it up a second time. Now, you know this game is difficult when they have already got bounties. They are currently sitting at 10,000 gold behind at 17 minutes. This is a very precarious situation for Royalty, as they are not able to find their way in. Varus does drop the chain to the corruption, does drive the auto, but the cleanse coming out from Vanzor, the WQ coming out, Featherstorm coming out trying to dodge the Dawning Shadow, but the Glacial Prism does come out onto him, and that is now a very dead Xayah, as the empowered Q comes out, not dropping the little bit of the BM. As now Jace goes for the solo, for the 1v1 on Slayer Eye. The Requiem is coming out from the Karthus with the extra bit of damage, but there's still a solo kill in favor of Slayer, as this is an absolute roll now. 36k to 26k, that 10,000 gold lead is massive right now, and they are really throwing their wallets at Royalty right now, as they do drop the Herald in the mid lane, are able to pick up that second tier turret. Now they are going to look for the inhib tower. That is very low dark side. Goth does not have the Requiem, does get hit by the root, and does look like they are going to pick up this inhib tower. Not as get by the root, but ATK are smart enough to know that they are not going to push any further. They see the dragon has spawned. They do want to continue the dragon stacking, and are going to move ever so closely to that soul point. Now, in this situation as Royalty, you can only imagine what they're going through right now. Do they want to play for the scaling, or are they rather going to be thinking about what is going to happen in the second game? Because this game is going to be particularly difficult for them to make a comeback from, but it's not impossible. Royalty, as mentioned, they very much like playing from a deficit. They enjoy the comeback material, and also like playing these heavy macro hard engaged champions that require a little bit of extra skill to pull off. Like Wabajaki with this knock can get those massive AoE jumps, can get the 5-man knockups, and then the Karthus drops the E stands in the middle, that pulls out a lot of damage. Featherstorm with the pullback can be a potential game changer for Royalty, but at this point ATK are able just to play with their money. They have got the 10,000 gold lead. The Senna and the Varus do have 2.5 items each. Two and a bit items for the Orianna. Sejuani does have the Radiant Virtue, and Sion just getting tankier and tankier by the minute.
Focus.
And in this case, Wabajaki very good to walk in his own jungle. Senna does land the auto root, but will not get it there. As root comes, Corruption comes out, and then the Christopher lands onto Jason. Now Klax unstoppable. TP coming out from the Sion. That is 5 members of ATK now there. They are all top side. The Baron is up. That is a dead mid laner. So it does look like they are going to be starting up this Baron very quickly. Going to be very, very easy setup for them. There is no contention. Karthus is not going to be able to fight too much of it. As now Sion and Senna are just going to be trying to hold off Ruin as much as they can. Ruin is just going to have to walk away. Cannot get to that pit in time. Doesn't have the flash. Senna just auto-king over the wall. As now reduced to Sion. Ulti does come out. Does land the Q. Does land the knockups. Klax is now dominating 8-1 and 2 on this Varus. But the Requiem coming out, doing actually a lot of damage. But then the barrier comes out from Unique, kind of negating a bit of it. So right now, ATK sitting at a 12,000 gold lead. Flash from Wildjack does land onto Klax. Klax is still low, but is tying it out exceptionally well. As now Klax is godlike on this Varus. 9-1 and 2 for him. 1-1-10 for Sejuani. There's a flash. Glacial Prison coming out onto dark side. They are just going to run it down to mid lane. That is going to be an inhib. They have got the Baron. They have got the minions. They can't just take them down. They are very long death timers on this Gnaw and this Karma. Chain of Corruption does come out, but does not land. TB coming out from Orianna, keeping that minion alive. Massive damage coming out from the W empowered Q from Varus. Now, ATK playing it slow, playing it smart, do not want to end this lead that they have built. It is now 13,000. Are going to rotate into the top side just to pick up that tower, because they do know mid is open. Super Void pushing in there relatively soon. It does look like we could be entering into the team fight as well. Bajaki trying to stack up the Mega Gnar. Wants to look for an engage. Oriana looking for the team fight. This San does land the Q knock him. Arun gonna have to burn his flash to escape that. All ultimates are available for both sides. Various summoners all still up. But now Ruan quite low on this Karthus. Jay's just gonna be trying to poke from afar. Nah does have the Mega. Does want to go in. Does go in. Does get on to Nah there. But the Dawning Shadow coming out from center will jump into that back line very easily. As Vanzel having to pop the Feather Storm. But it is not going to be enough. As that is a double kill coming out for Sion. And the only people left to defend are Karthus and Jace. It is just looking rather grim for Royalty. As now ATK are going to be pushing through. Going to try and take the base here. Karthus doing as much damage as he can. But Unique is on a killing spree on the center. The only thing standing are two Nexus towers. Notch does go onto all Spooks. Does not get to proc the Permafrost. But will proc it under the base laser. Don't have the super minions just yet, so are going to just back out. Look for some quick resets. Never mind, not get stopped. There are some pretty low health bars still on ATK as they could look for aggressive trades here. Trainer Corruption does land onto Zaya. Zaya does not have the best one, but will cleanse it relatively easily. Slayer Eye taken very low. As they are on the back foot here. Slayer Eye taking a bit of poke from the Jace as the Q through the phase gate. Requiem does come out. Slayer is very, very low, but the Leandri's burn will not be able to take through. Does get the center heal, does drop the E. As Royalty are looking for the comeback fight. But ATK want to look for a reset. Do not want to throw away this kind of lead. As they are now at almost at our 15,000 gold lead of their opponent. As Nod does catch Unique over the wall, but that is going to be the shockwave coming out from the Slayer Eye. As now Unique is on a rampage. That is a very, very strong center. We could take a look at her stacks. Okay, and let me see if I can take a look at her stacks. So, stack-wise, she is at 104 stacks. At the moment, I like that little sneaky thing. As you see, a bit of engagement. The engagement prism does come out onto Goth. Goth gets hit by the shield, but is not able to do too much. Not is just too tanky. Banzo, Spooks, and Darkside are desperately trying to get kills here. There is no Requiem available for Goth. San is just in the back line, not doing too much. Is now going to be walking up to Vanzor. Vanzor does have the Storm. Will drop the Feather Storm, try and dodge the damage. Does get rooted by the Chains of Corruption. Takes a lot of damage from the Empowered Q from Varus. Massive pullback, but Spooks is taken down by Clack. CB coming in from Wobbuck. Does not have the Mega Form, but is going to try and get takedowns here. But it's just not enough. As this bot lane on ATK sitting at 21 and 2. They are just looking way too strong here. Looking like they get this poke up really easy. A Slayer, look, just TPs into the base. Is going to try and get the shockwave onto Garth here. Garth taking a bit low in the base laser. Sound drops the Q. They are just going to clear out some waves. As now they are going to take the Nexus. And that, it does look like it is going to be game 1 to ATK. Very, very well played from these two teams here. But it just seems like ATK have this pick on the center. And the center is just too much to deal with. 32 and 4. It was crazy. So now, predictions. We're going to bring the new predictions in. So that is going to be ATK taking the W. So all the points for the ATK predictors. GG's to them there. As now we do await the second game. It is being put together. But let's just we can take a look at some of the damage from these guys. So scoreboard, can we look at the stats? View advanced details. So graph-wise, very easily reflected. Karthus did still do quite a bit of damage. But that is from his AoE ultimate. And it was very much expected from him there. Now doing a little bit as well, but ATK at that point just could throw their wallets at Royalty here. Senna doing the most damage. Definitely what supports be like. Support champion, by the way, doing 22,000 damage. Just saying. And then Varus not far behind. Then the Oriana as well. This damage. It's very clear who the damage dealers were. These tanks doing their job, peeling for that back line. Jace, unfortunately, not able to get the burst off. As well as the Zaya getting caught out very easily. Despite having the safety of the Feather Storm. It is unlikely that that would get through. But we are just going to be waiting just while we try and see if we are going to get into game 2 here. So let's take a look at some of the runes picked. So Scion, Unsealed Spellbook did some of the swaps. I don't know if I can look at all the other ones. Unfortunately, I don't think I can. But just also taking a look at just some of the vision score. Like, I think the one thing for sure is vision is a big deal when it comes to these big teams. Thank you so much for the follow, Yolfig. Welcome to the stream. I hope you enjoy. This is just the end of game 1 between ATK and Royalty. Royalty losing game 1 and ATK coming out very aggressively in this first game. So curious to see what they're going to have in store for us in game 2. I do see particular bans coming into play. Very likely going to see that center ban. So as we now hop in, we're all ready to go. So caster is R. There you go. Just clearing that all up. Genesis 5 Lonely Men update. Alright. So let's go into the profile. Let's quickly view that. So it is, unfortunately, it was a defeat. So that is, unfortunately, they were not able to take the win over 5 Lonely Men. So they are going to be knocked out of the tournament, unfortunately. So now 5 Lonely Men will progress further. And at this point, I think it was really unfortunate. They were looking good, and I think at this point they just were not able to succeed where they wanted to. They got, obviously, the Pike and the Lilia get banned out, as well as the Zac, Natalia, some key champions to build in their team comp. And so, unfortunately, they are going to be knocked out of the tournament. As now, we are going to be heading... Yeah, so they agreed to play a best of 1 against 5 Lonely Men purely because a lot of the members of Genesis were not able to make the best of 3 because of load shedding, because of personal issues and whatnot. But that is going to be the Maokai, banned away by Royalty. Do not want not on that. The Vi is taken away from Garth. Also don't want that. We're going to have to do a BO1 tomorrow too. And so you're going to be going in a BO1 against... we have to play 2 games. Fun. Well, you're going to have to get the games off. The final is this Saturday. Is being hosted by Sheepy and Nibble Hard Rock. They are going to be your hosts. I will be there, actually. I will be at the Mettlestate studio. I will be the observer. I'll be the man behind the camera. So you will hopefully see. I'll hopefully do my best there. So be sure to maybe catch that stream over on the Mettlestate channel. It is one of my in the recommended channels below. But we see the Zac and the Karthus are going to be banned away. Well, thank you, Robot Girl, for the follow. Thank you so much. Glad to have you here. So Karthus is taken away. They do not want to give up the Karthus, just because it could have been picked up by Slayer pretty easily. So then they're going to steal the Sejuani away from Not here. As Jelast is going to be, they are going to be hovering a bunch of picks here. The Varus and the Silas taken away by ATK. Varus being an instrumental pick to both these teams. I just think they must have thought it's better off banned and not played by either of them. Only following now, Tisk. Can we see that spicy picture again? Alright. I'll show you the spicy picture as soon as I can. Once the champ select is done, I will show you this spicy picture that I put together for tonight's matchup. As that is going to be the Ornn Wukong picked up. That is a very comfortable pick for Jetlust and a very comfortable pick for Wukong. But one thing's for sure is I am still not seeing the center ban. There is no center ban. They believe the Varus ban is going to take away the center. So, oh shit, Raven played? I didn't realize even Raven played. But now, that is going to be Shen coming out in the top lane for Wabajaki, playing that weak side top lane, wants to defend his team, wants to be there to defend the back line, and wants to utilize that hard engage. I was betting setting up lobbies since the enemy manager was AFK getting a coffee. Little bit of banter coming out here. Little bit of banter. As that is going to be the Ziggs lock-in. That could be very much a Ziggs bot lane for Banzor, but likely to be Ziggs for L Spooks. As he does like these long-ranged poke mages as well as long-range poke AD, which kind of makes sense with him enjoying the Jace as well. Love the banter. Love the banter. As that is going to be the victor coming out for Slayer. This is a champion which you do not want to give. This is so much comfort for ATK. They've been given everything that they wanted in the second game here. There's no bans coming out to their favorite champions. Victor for Slayer's very scary. Wukong for not as scary, especially now with AP junglers being hit with that nerf hammer. Let's see which other problem your team has now. Zypher guy. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, the roasting never stops. The roasting never stops. And then also, like Ornn, Jetlust, one of the main founders of the SA Ornn, is a very common pick in South African esports, as that is finally going to be the center ban. Very, very oppressive in that first game. Very likely not going to see it if this does go to a game 3, or it could even be private picked. So then now the Jace taken away from Spooks in the mid lane, and then the Tristana actually taken away. Like this is a mixture of bans. That Tristana is targeted as a mid lane and a bot lane ban, as Spooks and Vanzor do both enjoy playing it. And then finally, that is going to be the Rakan taken away from Unique here. Does like the Rakan, does like the hard engage, pairs well with the Radiant Virtue. But we are now entering the last set of picks here between these two teams. And I just realized I have not been playing music the whole time. I am so sorry, chat. I have let you all down. But we'll play some for this last bit of bans. That is going to be a Sivir lock-in for the bot lane. That is a Sivir for Klax. Has played this a couple of times. Very hard scaling champion. And I think this team that ATK have put together scales exceptionally hard. Sivir, Victor, and the Ornn, as well as Wukong, all scale very nicely. And then the ornaments coming out past Ornn's level 13 will just give his team that little bit extra gold boost. DJ, thank you so much for the follow, DJ NRT. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're enjoying your stay. Hello there, Cappy Caps. How you doing? Welcome. And thank you, Mellow Mishka, for the follow as well. Hope you've been enjoying your stay. Hope you've been enjoying some League of Legends, as that is going to be a Yone Ashe pickup. Now, Yone, that is likely going to be the... Actually, now that I think about it, that is a Ziggs bot with Ashe. That is a double poke lane. That is a Yone mid for Spooks. So have gone for that heavy engage. But now we see the Soraka hover coming out from Unique here. Would give that a little bit extra healing, as that is going to be the Soraka final lock-in. And I think scaling-wise, ATK by far take the W here. But in terms of winning lane, I think Ashe and Ziggs have got a lot of poke. Going to be very hard for Sivir and Soraka to deal with all of that. But now we are going to start the predictions for Game 2. Who do you think is going to take Game 2? Are ATK going to close out this series? Or are ATK going to lose and it's going to go to a Game 3? Shout out from Nigeria. I love seeing the Nigerian boys and girls all in chat here, witnessing some of the top tier South African esports. Did they really give not Wukong? How can you not give him Wukong? I thought you just said a bad word. But no, it is not a bad word, Cappy Caps. So, I know this is the second instance in which Not has been given the Wukong. Was not able to perform as well on it yet when he recently played it, but is looking to try and perform right now on the Wukong. That is very squishy team still, aside from the Shen as well as the Sejuani, who are all very hard tanks, but along with that Divine Sunder, it should be relatively easy for him. Now, with the jungle changes, they did hit a lot of the AP junglers with a big nerf. So now your jungle Pokemon, as we are going to call it, it's a jungle Pokemon, does not scale as much with your AP, but scales more with your AD resistances and your health. So tank junglers who don't rely on the demonic Embrace Rush will not be too affected. It's all cheap for royalty, so we can see a third game. I mean, everyone likes seeing a third game. Everyone likes seeing the third game. Third games are the best games, and it always puts a lot on the line. Hey, thank you so much, DJ NRT, for the Prime. Welcome to the Saber Skellies. I hope you enjoy your stay. We cast a lot of South African League of Legends here. Cast as many games as I could by myself. Had a couple co-casters here and there. But also, if you want to catch any of these VODs of any of the games that happened in the past, or if you maybe missed it, or a friend missed it because of, like I know in our case in South Africa, load shedding is a pain in the butt. So, oh yes, spicy picture. Oh yes, I'm supposed to do that. So here is the spicy picture that I put together. It's done by yours truly for the ATK at Royalty Esports matchup. So that is going to be Slayer Eye on the left there with his signature Victor. And then that is going to be Garth with his signature Vi. As Vi was banned away, Victor actually given to Slayer here. So very spicy pictures coming out here. Very grateful to both teams for letting me use these pictures in the splash art. Who just put 10k for ATK at 500? How is that fair? Nope. Void out here. Everyone doing pics now, huh? I mean, this is like I'm trying to do as many of these pictures as possible. It gives a bit more realism to seeing who's behind these champions, who's controlling this, and I envy it. Like, sheesh. Like, we got Garth looking like Giga Chad here, and then we got Slayer Eye here with arms bigger than my head, basically. My word. So, as long as if teams are able to get their pictures in, I put together some really nice graphics. I have a whole collection of them over the season, and they have evolved. The guy from Royalty, though, my goodness. Cappy, you acting up? He's single? Yo! Getting spicy in this chat. But yeah, I'm very grateful for Garth for putting that picture through at Robot Girl. Don't let Chris see this man. Well, now you gotta let Chris see this man. As now we are going to be heading into Champ Select. No, out of Champ Select into game here. No? Just no? Alright. So, you know how many people message me today asking for this after they saw that picture, huh? I can imagine, Robot, like with that kind of player on your team, I can imagine getting all the ladies. And all the men, too. So now we are going to be heading into game immediately. No loading screens. It seems like everyone on this team has a super PC of some sort. I wish my PC loaded into game this quickly. 9. I'm supposed to be straight, but not so sure anymore. Yo, these players got us acting up. As now, we are in game 2. So now I do have to remember to switch these around. So,
30 seconds
so now that is RYL over there. And then that is ATK over there. So now they have switched sides. But that's why I asked for the picture again, trying to pull at Void Bunny on my side, but I think I don't have a chance. Dude, like it's just crazy, like these pictures going around like wildfire. So Garth must be getting a lot of the DMs now in League of Legends, looking all the peeps looking for a new jungle duo. As you see, that is going to be Garth on the Hextech Sejuani. Very light skin to have. Only good purchasable with the gems. Why me? Well, I mean, it is fighting over for the junglers, basically. As Slayer did also opt for the first strike onto this Victor. Very big fan of the first strike. Considered one of my favorite runes, at least. I will take it on anyone and everyone. If it means I get to do damage. As this ball lane is going to be a battle of the poke. As Soraka opts for the Airy, and then that is going to be the comment for Darkseid. Did not go for the Hail of Blades, so just going to be looking for that W poke. Bombs not landing as Klax and Unique are going to try and shove the wave. Bojack going for aggressive grass trades, but now I think in ATK's case, they do need to make sure they dodge this poke, because if I have you on my side, I have everyone on my side. Oh my goodness. I mean, you're not wrong, you're not wrong. But now Jetlust Taking a big brunt of damage from Wabajaki on the Shen. Not playing the Shen like it's a weak side, playing the strong side Shen in the top side. Not too much action happening in the mid lane. But all the action's happening in the top lane and the bot lane. As did not expect too much of this, as now take a look up there. Alrighty, so we do see the Q flash coming out from Goth there onto Unique, but that will be a flash away from Unique and a heal from Klax. Please, I'm blushing, stop. Jeez, like this chat's getting heated, chat's getting spicy. Yeah. But now we see Slayer and Spooks not really up to too much there. Spooks just having to take the brunt of this Victor poke. And please don't forget when I see you in mid, because I believe are you playing in the is it the Athena League? Because I do know I think they have matches. I haven't been keeping up to date, but I have been catching some of the Athena games here and there. Very fast growing scene, a very welcoming scene as well to be in. And a lot of all those games will be streamed up on Sheepy's channel. So it's looking rather interesting. I do agree with you, NRT. Ancient Annotation Rage feature booty. Oh, this now it's the banter coming out once again. As Unique does know that Vanzor Darkside a little bit low on the mana, but gonna be coming out with these really good trades, keeping Klax very healthy. Darkside taking a lot of damage, but Klax using the spell shield just to heal it up. This is a very interesting, very good sustain lane actually. Kind of able to deal with this poke very easily. And now Banzo and Darkside being forced under the tower, as now Senjuani is looking to part top side. Not is only just coming back from the reset, but God is full health, is top. And that's actually going to be a solo kill for Jetlust onto Wabajaki, as now Senjuani just going to hold that wave, while Unique and Klax pressuring Banzo and Darkside once again. Taking a lot of damage. As now there is going to be a TP coming out. Spook does use the E, does try and use the Spirit Seal, but nothing will come out there. As now Unique and Klax are going to just pressure these guys between their own two turrets. Are not afraid, are not scared. Sidestepping there, not is just going to be mid lane trying to help shove this wave, give Slayer the back he needs. Now, our Spooks can't really do much about this. Very easy reset coming up for Slayer, right? But now the TP coming in from the Ziggs. As Unique and Klax are just going to pick up that little bit of reset. CS is very much reflected in favor of ATK, 39-22. Q does come and does stop Klax's back. I'll be sure to catch those games tomorrow, when I can. Because I know they're going to be happening, but also if there aren't any games that are being streamed, I will be sure to catch them on the side as well. Because I think a lot of teams are going to be rushing just to get to that grand final, as a lot of games will end up being played tomorrow. So, going to be quite active, going to be quite busy, but keep these... Oh, as the Fate Seals come out onto the Victor here, but Soraka here to save the day. Not is in the mid lane, but that is going to be Stan United coming in from the Chen as it looks to turn the fight. But that is going to be Orncy seeing them. Oh, Spooks does not have the flash, as that's going to be a flashy coming out from Slayer, right? Goth is in the mid lane. Victor drops the ult just to push the wave. Really good interrupt coming out from Jetlust, denying the Stan United from going all the way through. She will have tried to somehow sleep tonight. I mean, with load shedding does make it easier. Don't even worry about turning the lights off, as Jetlust does pop the Ornhorn. But Torn comes out, does stop the Ornhorn entirely, but there's still a lot of damage coming out from the Brittle. W coming out from Jetlust. Snatch coming out, but Soraka is hit by the Yone. Silence coming out. Soraka playing this roaming lane exceptionally well. Keeping the mid laner very comfortable, very safe, and very healthy. And now Unique is just playing very aggressively. Q does connect, will heal up a little bit more. Goth is in the mid lane. No Victor does not have ult. No Victor does not have flash. He's going to walk into the Soraka. Q coming out. Silence is available. Unique has not dropped the silence just yet. Slayer Eye taking a lot of damage. Fate Seal will not do too much. But Slayer Eye will walk out relatively carefree. As now our Spooks looking for some aggressive trades. Right now ATK are looking comfortable once again. Flax is just in the side lane farming pretty easily. 57 CS to 43. As Not now picks up a Skull Crab. While Unique is still sitting mid. Only level 5, but now Victor is sitting at the level 6. To the Yone level 7. God is bot side. Dark side has made his return bot side while Not does get catch out. Dark side going to the heal. Does drop the W, does drop the Cyclone. Dark side does flash, barely making it out alive. The knockback will send the Wukong away. I mean, I've seen Soraka mid played in Korea. I mean, T1 played as Yone does go for the does try to go for the knockup, but Slayer does dodge it relatively easily. The stun coming out. Spooks does go unstoppable, tanking a tower shot. Very interesting trades coming out there, but Klax looking relatively unharmed in this bot lane, playing this really, really well. Does not take any damage, using the spell shield correctly. But now Soraka is still mid. Yone does drop the phasal, does not land. It does get silenced. Victor does drop the ulti. Auto attacks coming out, but now Slayer will take down El Spooks. That is 3 for 0. That is 2,000 gold. As now Soraka walking face first into Garthia. Will get the cleanse coming out, but the Firmo Frost plus the Advantage Prism will take down the Soraka. So that will be a very dead Unique. And now Klax gonna have to play a little bit safer, despite actually having 22 CS lead. That is quite a large gap right now. Gold-wise, 2,800 to 2,500. So that's about 300 gold at the moment that Sivir has over this Ziggs. And we see Ashe has also opted to pick up the Executioners very early on, which one in the past would say is a bit of a bait, particularly into the Soraka. But right now, the Executioners does give the 40% reduction instead of only just the 25 that it used to. So it is a very valuable item to pick up into healing team comps. And it's not just going to benefit against the Soraka, but benefit against that Wukong as well, who is going to be healing quite a bit with the Divine Thunder once that is picked up. But now, Wabajaki is going to be farming it up. Ornn is going to be just making sure that no one is onto the Rift Herald. Banzo and Dogs are pushing out the bot lane. But you see, top lane just going to be the wet noodle fight that it always is. Then I sit on Void's bums all game. Oh my goodness. I mean, this is a lot of Kappas coming out in chat. Yeah, I really hope they are Kappas in this case. As Yone does go for the E, does go get the knockup, but Victor will drop the stun. Yone going unstoppable, but still gets hit by the stun. The Slayer playing this really, really well. Has a 12 CS lead, has got 2 kills as well, and is very close to finishing that Leandries. As sitting on 950 gold, only 40 gold off the completion of that, sitting about 800 gold ahead of the Yone. It's not Klax attacks, it's an unnecessary tower shot. Slayer does actually have the flash, but Unique has walked up, so they are looking for a fight here with Garth. I do know that Yone is also just going to walk away, as now ATK are going to be beginning this dragon. We'll be starting the dragon stack in super early, 10 minutes. First dragon over to ATK, and it is a ocean dragon. Next one will be a Chemtech dragon, so it does not mean we're getting any Chemtech souls here, so no extra resistances or low health. But we gotta what do we think the dragon's gonna be? I personally think it could be Cloud. I like the Cloud, as the Ashe does land onto Slayer there. Glacial Prism comes out once again, will take him down. And then the Fate Sealed also knocking out Slayer. Slayer does get taken down, but not his here. Does drop the Cyclone. Ornn is dropped as well. Stand United once again onto this Ashe, as that is a 1-kill trade for Royalty as they take down this Victor. Really, really good picks coming out here for Royalty, as that is now a shutdown going over to, I believe, Yone, which is exactly where they want the shutdown to go. Well, if you're saying you to Cloud, what do you think it's gonna be? What would you want it to be? I mean, I think everyone's like, oh, Infernal this, Mountain Dragon that. Cloud is fun. The movement speed is insane, as Wukong goes for these very good fights with the Yone. Doesn't have the Divine Thunderer. Does get the knockup, does get the face deal, but that will be a flash coming out from Not. Will escape El Spooks with his life. As now Ornn going in for some more trades with Wabajaki. Wabajaki will walk out very carefree. Hey, who won game 1? So game 1 did go to ATK. They did take game 1. and it was quite a stomp to say the least. Senna Varus, quite a disgusting bot lane, but neither of those champions getting through here. So playing the Soraka Sivir, very sustained lane, very safe lane as well. Now, I'm joking, timing these W's really well, dodging a lot of the brittle damage coming out from Jet Lust. As now we see the royalty APC is all alone, as now Darkside is popped up topside to help Garth with the Rift Herald. And now Webjaki is going to be forced under his tower, but now Ziggs is going to have to run. Ziggs is now knows that he's going to be playing into a tower dive, does respect them as the Wukong is now piling bot. But very, very well-deserved respect there, as now Wukong is going to be bot lane. Vanzor is by himself, does have the ulti, does have flash. Sivir drops the ultimate as well. Soraka takes the aggro, does try and get the knockback. Ash Arrow does land onto the Soraka, but the cleanse coming out really clutch. Cleanse coming out from Unique there, as it is very clean tower dive. As Garth does jump over the wall, does land engage a Prism. Vic does land the stun onto the Sejuani, but that will be a kill going over to El Spooks once again. As Slayer is not having a fun time, they are not letting him have a fun time. As they are playing through the mid side, and now only a 1,100 gold lead for ATK. But now we'll see the Rift Tail dropped in the mid lane and we'll be trying to get this Yone very far ahead. As that is also going to be a tower going over to Royalty. They will pick up first tower. Yone very capable of last hitting this, as Wukong does go for the engage. There's a Cyclone. The tower has not fallen yet. That is still another Cyclone out from Not. Yone does drop the Fate Seal, but that is not going to be enough as Slayerite TP's in, yoinks the kill. And that his tower will live once again. As that is a very low health tower. We're going to take a look at it quickly. That is a 90 HP tower. All it took was probably maybe 1 or 2 orders from the Yone would have fallen. But Slayerite coming in clutch. Not coming in clutch with the Wukong Cyclone. And has been playing this superbly. Yeah, I could just see it as that sweating meme. As the guy at the desk, he's just sweating. Like, looks like he's, like, you could fill a lake with the amount of sweat it's feeling. So now Slayerite will be getting some some hits on this tower, but is going to respect, as Ash Arrow does miss, unfortunately. And I think they are looking to try and catch out Slayer, but Slayer is done with their tricks, done with their games. He is now a Leandri's victor. He has got first strike. His flash is coming up soon, so no longer will be a very vulnerable mid laner. As Vanzor walks mid, takes a bit of poke there. But Garth going to walk forward. It does dodge the Glacier Prism. Victor ulti does come out, hiding this exceptionally well. As now Wukong has made it into the back line, taking down the Ziggs. But El Spooks does get the ulti TP on. Slayer is barely alive. Soraka coming in clutch with these heals. As that is still a trade favoring ATK, as Soraka keeping her team alive. Top lane still the wet noodle fight as usual. Dropping the W for all these trades, not able to get the brittle off. But red side are going to be looking to pick up this dragon. Soraka, Sivir, and the Wukong all making their way there. Wukong is about to have the Cyclone up, is also very close to getting the flash up, so does not look like it's going to be very much contested. The Sejuani ulti is also not available, so does not look like they're going to be contesting that. And that will be the second dragon going over to ATK. And let's find out what soul it is. It is going to be the Hextech soul. So I was wrong, and I feel like chat is very happy that I was wrong. So the Hex Gates will activate. Always love watching the Hex Gates because rotations generally end up being a lot quicker, so team fights are a lot more intense. Living off the monster at the moment. Hashtag not sponsored by Monster. Now Spooks and Garth are in the bot lane. Sivir is going to respect. They're going to play it back. We do see all the mythics coming out on the appropriate carries, as Ornn does pick up the Jack Show. As Divine Thunder for Wukong. We see the Kraken Slayer for Sivir, who has also just been farming up a Storm. 168 CS at 16 minutes. This Sivir is definitely in a very good spot in terms of farm. Almost perfect CS. In fact, that is perfect CS, basically. So that is not what you want to see on a Sivir. You don't want to see a Sivir perfect CS because the harder she scales, the harder it is going to be to win those team fights. Now, Soraka has not been able to pick up the first item just yet, neither has the Ashe, but let's just take a look at the gold once again. As there is a 400 gold lead for the Ornn in the top lane, Wukong, and the Sejuani almost dead even, actually. Only about 10-20 gold separating them. Victor is actually behind on the Yone. Sivir does have 7,000, 5,500, so that CS is coming in clutch, but not is bot lane. So is Slayer. El Spooks is sitting in the back line there. The Wukong does drop E, does drop the second Cyclone. W is available. Yone is going to try and go play. Does drop the Fate Seal on hits 2 people, but not going to be enough as Not does secure the kill. Victor does drop the ulti. The Ziggs bomb does try and come over, does try and do some damage. Not able to be enough. As you see, this mid lane jungle duo is absolutely making a mess. As Sivir walking up very comfortably. Silence coming out from Soraka. Q coming out there. We'll just been giving the heals to Klax, keeping him nice and healthy, allowing him to get all that poke off and all that extra attack speed too. Now, the Andres has also picked up by this Ziggs, so that little bit extra burn damage could be quite useful in terms of picking up the anti-heal. So right now, only anti-heal is the Ashe. So Ashe is always going to be instrumental in these fights in terms of trying to get rid of the tank, as Garth does pick up the Sivir. Sivir does drop the ulti as well. Palatial Prism comes up, but we see double TP. That is going to be a TP coming from Ornn, and the Shen dropping in the TP as well. That is a double tour coming out onto Klax. Klax will fall as that is shutdown going over to Sivir, but the Ornn Horn is summoned, the knockup is summoned, but it does get stunned away as Vic Slayer is just on the back line taking down El Spooks, as that is going to be a 1-for-1. That is a mid laner for AD carry. As clutch TVs coming out from both sides, and Soraka sacrificing a lot of her health to keep her team alive. And now Victor's 4-for-2 is looking to pick up the Shadow Flame. There's a lot of CC does lock down Klax here, but at the cost of their mid lane El Spooks, who has unfortunately not been having the greatest time dealing with this ATK roster. Open mid. Amazing, I'm finally win my lane against you first time. As you see, that is going to be a Slayer, does get taunted by Wabajaki here, does drop the ultimate. A lot of damage coming out from Slayer. Bit of an underestimation coming out from Wabajaki there. And we'll have to put the flash to get out. As now Ornn does pick up the first ornament, does pick up the Unspoken Parasite, as he has ticks over to level 13. And now, from this point onwards, ATK can really only go up. They have 3,000 gold lead, plus the Ornn items will give them stats which will not reflect too much in the gold, but will reflect in terms of damage, in terms of just raw stats. We got Dragon coming up in 1 minute. Baron is up. So we do see Not is going to be prioing this downside Dragon. Jetlust will walk down with him. We'll catch the Yone. No Ornn Horn is available, but Elspook's just taking a lot of damage from the Yone. We'll go in. We'll get... But not doing too much to Elspook's, as does use the Fate Seal just to get out. Defensive ulti coming out from Yone. Does not want to deal with that. And now we see resets actually coming out from the Wukong. Wukong sitting on 1,200 gold. So we'll pick up the cooldown reduction, Kindle Gem, and Caulfield's Hammer. So very good on him. We'll be able to have that clone up much more often. I think Black Cleaver also is very necessary into this team. Particularly into that Shen and into that Sejuani. So quickly, while we take a look at this bot lane here, Not is going to be taking that. Sejuani is going to be taking her Scuttle. But then just take a quick look at the vision. So this is what ATK are seeing. They don't actually know. The only people they see are the Shen and the Ziggs. Do spot the Ashe out over the wall, who's clearing their vision. And then blue side, they're also very much in the dark. See nobody other than the Wukong, who just started the Dragon now. So going in dark here, do not see anything, as that is going to be a very easy Dragon pickup for ATK. Nothing too difficult. Do not attempt to go for the steal, and that is the third Dragon for them, as they are on Soul Point. Now, Sivir once again does not disappoint with the CS, sitting at 217 CS at 21 minutes. So very comfortably farming. Nothing is being dealt to deal with her. And this is playing right into ATK's hands. They've got the scaling. They're playing it perfectly almost. So this is game 2 era. So game 1 was given to ATK. They did take down Royalty very easily with the Senna Varus bot lane, as well as the Orianna mid lane for Slayer. So Do not want to mess with that as Wukong does get caught out by Ruan, but we'll just walk away as we see small trades, but nothing will come out there. So this is now game 2. As Spook's taking a lot of damage. Ash ulti does come out, but does not hit anyone there. So now Spooks and Garth are looking to take down Slayer, but Not is here to back up his mid laner. You see a lot of fights happening, but there's going to be top lane fights happening here. But now Spooks and Garth are there. Wukong is just over the wall. They do spot each other. The Glacial Prison does go wide. Not does drop the Cyclone. That is a lot of damage coming out onto Spooks there. Shen TP coming out. Stand United is available. Not is not a killing spree on the Sejuani. Massive not coming out from the Yone. But the Yone is causing a lot of damage. So Rotko ulti saving Slayer. Wabajaki trying to kite it out, but are still very high health bars for ATK. And that is now 3 members dead. Sivir ulti drops, and that is a free Baron for ATK. Teams giving not Wukong again. That's exactly what I said. Like, I think I wasn't perform too well with Wukong the first time, but is definitely redeeming himself on this Wukong at the moment, and kind of shows you why you should not be giving it to him. Ornn does try to go for the knockup, will not land it. So Ornn and Unique will just try and deny them as the Baron comes off. Ornn is summoned, does hit Vanzor. Vanzor gets hit with the Q as well. Will try and flash away from this Ornn, but this Ornn does too much damage. It just that's now on a killing spree. Knocker coming out onto Dark Side. And now that is a double kill for Mr. Ornn. And that is Baron picked up for ATK. That is a 8,000 gold lead for them. As now they are looking just to push in these tier 2 towers. Garth does spot Wukong here, as now the second ornament coming out, given to the Sivir, given the Worm Fallen Sacrifice on the Kraken Slayer. 245 CS at 24 minutes. This guy just does not stop farming. We're waiting for the 210 Yone power spike, lol. I mean, it's just how Yone works. It's the Yone Yasuo combo. Not is knotting so hard. Can we not make a knot like a... I thought it was just the meme. We can't put too much meaning behind this, else it's going to get confusing for everyone, Anna. Well, confusing for me at least. I don't know about anyone else, but... He is just doing not things. I think that's what I'm going to call it. Not doing not things. Like, hashtag just not things. As now... Unique clearing out some vision. 62 vision score on this Soraka. Very much... It's tying up with this Ashe, who is likely running the Comet with the Redemption. As now Sivir does drop the ulti onto the Yone. Yone going to be trying to Q out. Fate Seal does come out, will walk away, but the Ornn is summoned. Yone does try and get into the backline, but not able to do too much. As Not very calmly walks into the enemy jungle, does get taunted by the Shen. Does drop the Cyclone, but does get stunned by the Permafrost. Second Cyclone coming up, the Ashe ulti does land, not ceasing for very long. Stand United coming on to Ashe, saving on slivers of HP. As now Slayer has made his way there, will drop the ulti onto Vanzor. Vanzor taking a lot of damage, will try and drop a bomb, but will be taken down as Slayer does flash E. And that is a double kill for Slayer now. And again, very comfortable for ATK as they are now looking to run down Garth. As now Not will try and catch out Wabajaki, will try and catch out Sejuani. Taunt coming out onto Not there. Not does get hit by the Permafrost. The Slayer is there to just try and deal the damage. Divine Thunder doing mad work. Wabajaki is desperately running for his life. Will be able to use the dash over the wall, but Wukong has the dash over the wall too, so he says bye-bye. The Shen drops the W, will stall for time, but that is a little bit of a BM going from ATK as they take down Shen. And now we see TPs coming in onto the bot lane, so that is going to be a TP from Vanzor, but he's right into the hands of Klax. As now Garth is trying to fight Unique. Unique will fall, but Not is desperately trying to fight this out. Does not have the Cyclone available, but will keep fighting. Does have the clone, trying to stall for that Cyclone. Will get the Cyclone off. You're only going to have to try and flash the wall, but will not land it. The Ornn is summoned. Sivir is there to pick up the kill. Double kill for Ornn, and that is an ace for ATK. As now Not is going to be picking up that dragon relatively free. That is 706 Wukong, 7-2 and 5 Victor. These are two of the most comfortable champions for this mid laner and for this jungler. So this is looking like it's very much in the bag for ATK. With a very commanding 13,000 gold lead as the inhibitor is taken down. They are going to take down these Nexus towers. Wabajaki Only one left. Ziggs does try and drop the bomb, but it will be blocked up by the Silver Spell Shield. Sejuani is also up the Soul. Hextech Soul is picked up by ATK, so all the extra little zap damage, the extra static shiv. Q coming out, Ashe ulti comes out, will land onto... Oh no, will land onto Slayer, and that is going to be a shutdown going over to the Shen. Very unlucky there for him, unfortunately, as Darkseid pulling the Ashe arrow. Absolutely clutch. The big daddy Wukong. Klax kiting out Goth absolutely superbly, weaving all these auto silences. Does get stunned, does get taught, does get hit by the Perma Frost. Freedom Prism combo. Yone does come in with a Fate Seal. If the Ornhorn is summoned, that is a double knockup. Wukong does drop the Cyclone. And Klax is now sitting in the back line, free ordering. He's on killing spree, almost 300 CS on the Sivir, on TP in the bot lane. Sivir does go for the silence. Darkseid is not able to flash out, and Not is now legendary. It is only Vanzor able to defend against 4 members of ATK. He is dropping very low. Ornn is going to go for the dash forward. Will just get the static shiv prop, and that is now an ace for ATK. They take down the second Nexus turret. They take down the Nexus, and ATK are going to the grand finals. So now that is GG's over to both teams. Very, very well played from ATK as well as Royalty. Putting up that good fight. Yone desperately trying to get those Fate Seals. Desperately trying to get that AoE, but just not enough. Giving Wukong to Not is something you definitely shouldn't be doing, as well as not giving the Victor or the Ornn over. But what do you ban against a team like this? Like, it's just like the comfort they're on, it just makes it too free for them. So time to hand out the points. So let's go do the prediction. Let's hand out the points to everybody. So that is the outcome goes ATK, waboom, wapow. GG all. Thanks again. And it is always a pleasure. I've always loved having all these boys on the cast. Love watching these games. Always spicy with ATK. Always interesting to see what they're going to pull out. And I think one thing to watch out for is the Senna. Senna looks really strong, and I'm going to be surprised if other supporters start abusing it, trying to take it away from Unique here. So from me at the casting desk, thank you so much to everybody who tuned into the stream tonight. I will likely be streaming a collection of games tomorrow, but I will be putting that all over my Twitter as well as possibly on Facebook if necessary. So be sure to keep in the loop, and I'll keep you all updated. So enjoy the rest of your evenings, everybody. Good luck in all your ranked games, and I will see you all tomorrow night.